Today, we are talking about something that matters to millions of Americans, especially seniors living on fixed incomes, the tax refund schedule for 2026, when you can expect to get paid, and how to check your IRS refund status safely and confidently. If you are waiting on your tax refund, depending on it to cover bills, medical costs, home repairs, or simply to catch your breath financially, this update is for you. In this video, I am going to walk you through everything step by step in clear and simple language so you understand what is happening in 2026, how the timing works, what could delay your refund, and what you can do right now to protect your money and avoid mistakes. The 2026 tax season follows the same general structure as previous years, but there are important details that seniors need to understand. The Internal Revenue Service typically begins accepting and processing federal income tax returns in late January. That means even if you prepare your return earlier in the month, it is not officially processed until the IRS opens its systems for the season. Once the IRS begins processing returns, the timing of your refund depends on several factors, including how you filed, whether you chose direct deposit or a paper check, and whether your return requires additional review. For most taxpayers who file electronically and choose direct deposit, refunds are generally issued within about 21 days after the IRS accepts the return. This timeframe is not a guarantee, but it is the standard guideline the IRS uses. Seniors who e-file and select direct deposit usually receive their money faster than those who mail a paper return. Paper returns must be opened, reviewed, and entered manually into the system, which can take several weeks longer, especially during peak filing season when millions of returns arrive at once. If you rely heavily on your refund each year, it is important to understand that the acceptance date is what matters, not the date you submitted your paperwork. If you file electronically on the first day the IRS opens and your return is accepted the same day, the 3-week clock typically begins from that acceptance date. If you file early but the IRS has not yet opened for the season, your return sits in a queue until processing officially begins. In 2026, seniors should also pay close attention to certain credits and adjustments that may affect refund timing. For example, refundable credits such as the Earned Income Tax Credit or the Additional Child Tax Credit are subject to additional review under federal law. While many seniors do not claim these credits, some who support grandchildren or dependents might qualify. Returns claiming these credits may not see refunds issued until mid-February or later because the IRS must hold them for fraud prevention purposes. This rule has been in place for several years and continues to apply. Another important factor in the 2026 tax refund schedule is accuracy. A return that contains errors, mismatched social security numbers, incorrect bank account information, or missing forms can be pulled for manual review. When that happens, the refund can be delayed far beyond the typical 3-week time frame. For seniors, even a simple digit error in a direct deposit account number can cause the refund to be rejected by the bank. That may result in a paper check being issued instead, adding more waiting time. Many older Americans today receive income from Social Security, pensions, retirement accounts, part-time work, or investment income. Each of these sources generates tax documents such as Form 1099-R for pensions and retirement distributions or SSA 1099 for Social Security benefits. It is critical to wait until all forms arrive before filing. Filing too early and later discovering a missing form often means you must amend your return, and amended returns take significantly longer to process. For seniors living on Social Security alone, there is sometimes confusion about whether a tax return is required. Not all Social Security benefits are taxable, but depending on your total income, a portion may be subject to federal tax. If you have other income sources such as pension payments or withdrawals from a traditional IRA, you may be required to file. Even if you are not required to file, some seniors choose to do so if federal taxes were withheld from pension income during the year and they expect a refund. The 2026 refund schedule is also influenced by how you receive your payment. Direct deposit remains the fastest and safest method. Once the IRS approves your refund, direct deposits typically reach your bank within a few days. However, the exact posting date can vary depending on your financial institution. Some banks release funds immediately upon receipt, while others may hold deposits briefly for processing. Seniors who prefer paper checks should understand that mailing times add additional days or even weeks to the process, especially during busy periods. It is also important to remember that federal refunds and state refunds are separate. If you are expecting both, they are processed independently. Receiving your state refund does not necessarily mean your federal refund has been approved and vice versa. Each state revenue agency follows its own timeline. One of the most helpful tools available during tax season is the IRS refund tracking system. After your return is accepted, you can check your status using the official IRS tracking service. The system typically updates once per day, usually overnight. It will show whether your return has been received, approved, and whether the refund has been sent. For seniors, this tool can reduce stress and prevent unnecessary phone calls, because calling the IRS before the standard processing time has passed rarely speeds things up. The 2026 tax season is also connected to broader discussions about retirement security. Changes in tax brackets, cost of living adjustments for Social Security, and pension distributions all interact with your annual tax outcome. Even small increases in Social Security benefits due to cost of living adjustments may affect taxable income thresholds. Staying informed ensures that you are not caught off guard. For seniors who need assistance filing, there are trusted community programs that offer free tax help, particularly for older adults. Trained volunteers often specialize in retirement income issues and understand common senior concerns. Using reliable help reduces the risk of errors that could delay your refund. Now let us move into the final and most important part of this update, which is understanding exactly how to check your IRS refund status in 2026, what each stage of the process truly means, and what to do if your refund takes longer than expected. For many seniors, the waiting period can feel stressful, especially when that refund is already mentally assigned to bills, medication costs, insurance payments, or household needs. The good news is that the system is structured, predictable, and transparent if you know how it works. Once your tax return has been officially accepted by the IRS, the processing timeline begins. The first stage simply confirms that your return has been received. This does not mean it has been approved yet. It only means the IRS system has your information and has begun reviewing it. During this stage, your return is checked for basic accuracy, matching Social Security numbers, verifying income documents, and scanning for potential identity concerns. For seniors who file electronically and enter information carefully, this stage usually moves quickly. The second stage is approval. When your return reaches this point, it means the IRS has completed its review and has calculated your final refund amount. If everything matches and no corrections are required, the refund is authorized for payment. At this stage, you will typically see a projected payment date. That projected date is when the IRS plans to release the funds. If you selected direct deposit, the funds are electronically sent to your bank. If you selected a paper check, the check is printed and mailed. The third stage is payment sent. This means the IRS has released your refund. For direct deposit, the timing of when it appears in your account depends on your bank's internal processing procedures. Some financial institutions credit deposits the same day they receive them, while others may take an additional business day or two. Paper checks, on the other hand, are subject to postal delivery times. Weather, holidays, and regional mail volume can all affect how quickly the check arrives. If more than 21 days pass after your return is accepted and you do not see approval, that is when you may need to take further steps. It is important to remain calm because many delays are temporary and automatically resolved. Returns may be pulled for manual review if the IRS system detects inconsistencies, suspected fraud patterns, or calculation discrepancies. Manual reviews do not automatically mean something is wrong. They simply mean a human examiner must confirm the information before releasing the refund. One of the most common causes of delay in 2026 continues to be identity verification. If the IRS suspects that someone may have attempted to file a fraudulent return using your Social Security number, it will freeze the refund until your identity is confirmed. In such cases, the IRS sends a notice by mail with instructions on how to verify your identity. Responding quickly to that notice is essential. Ignoring it can extend delays by several months. For seniors, especially those who do not frequently check mail, it is important to open all IRS correspondence promptly during tax season. Another cause of delay can be mismatched income reporting. For example, if your pension provider reports one amount to the IRS and you report a slightly different figure, the system may flag it. Even small differences can trigger a review. This is why waiting until all official tax forms have arrived before filing is so important. Accuracy protects your timeline. In 2026, electronic filing continues to be strongly encouraged because it reduces the risk of processing errors. Paper returns remain valid, but they require manual handling from the start. During busy filing months, paper returns can take significantly longer to move through the system. Seniors who are comfortable with electronic filing often find that it provides peace of mind through faster confirmation and tracking. It is also important to understand that amended returns follow a completely different timeline. If you discover after filing that you forgot to include income or need to correct information, filing an amended return is the proper step. However, amended returns take much longer to process than original returns. The IRS reviews them manually, and refunds related to amendments can take several months. Filing correctly the first time is always the best strategy. For retirees who receive Social Security benefits, pension distributions, and required minimum distributions from retirement accounts, coordination is key. Required minimum distributions from traditional IRAs or 401k accounts increase taxable income. That increase may affect your total tax liability and refund amount. Some seniors are surprised when withdrawals push them into a higher tax bracket or reduce their refund. Understanding this interaction in advance helps prevent confusion. The broader financial environment in 2026 also matters. Cost of living adjustments to Social Security benefits may increase gross income slightly. While these increases are designed to help keep pace with inflation, they can influence how much of your benefits are taxable depending on your combined income. Seniors who also earn part-time wages or investment income may notice subtle changes in their refund compared to previous years. Reviewing your tax withholding and estimated payments annually can prevent large swings. Another topic seniors should pay attention to is refund offsets. If you owe back federal taxes from prior years, your 2026 refund may be applied toward that balance. The same can occur for certain federal debts. When this happens, the IRS sends a notice explaining how much of the refund was applied and why. If you believe the offset is incorrect, there are procedures to dispute it, but responding quickly is essential. As tax season progresses toward April, processing volumes increase. Filing earlier in the season generally leads to faster refunds because there is less congestion in the system. Waiting until the deadline often means competing with millions of other returns submitted at the same time. Checking your refund status regularly is helpful, but checking too frequently does not speed up the process. The tracking system updates once daily, usually overnight. Looking multiple times per day will not change the outcome. It is more productive to review your return carefully before filing to minimize the chance of delays. Security remains one of the most critical concerns. Fraudsters often target seniors with fake refund notifications, claiming there is a problem that requires immediate payment or personal information. The IRS does not demand payment through gift cards, wire transfers, or threatening phone calls. Any unexpected demand for immediate action should be treated with caution. Protecting your Social Security number, bank details, and personal data is as important as filing accurately. For many older Americans, a tax refund is more than a routine transaction. It can represent relief from rising grocery prices, assistance with utility bills, or funds for medical treatments. Some use refunds to repair vehicles, maintain homes, or build modest emergency savings. Because fixed incomes do not always keep up with unexpected expenses, the annual refund plays a stabilizing role in household budgets. Planning how to use your refund wisely can create long-term benefits. Setting aside even a portion for emergencies can reduce reliance on credit cards later. Paying down high-interest debt can lower monthly expenses. For those in stable financial positions, contributing to savings or covering future medical needs can provide additional security. As we close this update, remember that knowledge reduces uncertainty. Understanding when you will get paid and how to check your IRS status puts control back in your hands. The tax system may seem complex, but when broken down step by step, it becomes manageable. Seniors deserve clarity, stability, and confidence during tax season. By staying informed, filing carefully, and protecting your personal information, you can move through the 2026 refund process smoothly and with peace of mind.